at least twice a day, I'll ask people to do that first exercise we did. Let's just go over it again because it's not complicated. It's actually quite simple. I simply asked you to get your body still, point number one. Number two was to watch the way you were breathing. And I just gave you about 2 minutes or so, 2 to 3 minutes, just to observe, is my body breathing in a way that's ideal? Now, here's the reality. If 5 minutes is too much to ask, then please be aware of 5 breaths. That's all. Just observe 5 breaths. In the time it takes to observe 5 breaths, you can already experience a shift. Okay, that's number one. Number two is reflect on how you're holding your neck and shoulders. So even if you're sitting, no one has to know you're doing this exercise, by the way. It's completely internal. And then the third thing I ask you to notice the stream of your thoughts. One thing that we haven't talked about today is this self-criticism, self-critical tapes that we play. It's it's fascinating. The statistics that I've read are about that human beings think about 78,000 thoughts a day on average, and less than 2% are original. We've thought the same thoughts. And, I didn't want to think what that adds up to after 10 days. It's almost 1 million thoughts. And of those 1 million thoughts, something like more than 950,000 are the same thoughts. It's not a very productive use of our mind. So therefore, the third stage is you observe yourself thinking. And you go, is this helpful? And what I would do as soon as we get off this session, is I would literally put it in your phone to give you a signal twice a day. You determine when that time is. And if you can't do it right when it goes off, you do it as quickly as you can after. And that whole thing, be aware of 5 breaths, be aware, take 30 seconds to adjust how you're holding your neck and shoulders. And the third thing, adjust the way you're thinking. I'm going to ask you to do it twice a day. And there's a reason we're going to do it, because it's actually going to hook up to the homework. I'm going to ask you to do 3 minutes of journaling, 3 to 5 minutes of journaling every day. I'll do it with you. It's an exercise I learned many, many years ago. Julia Cameron's book, The Artist's Way, is really quite an amazing process. And at the heart, the core of that work, where she says you can revolutionize yourself as a creative being, at the heart of the work of revolutionizing yourself as a creative being is to journal for 20 minutes a day. She calls them morning pages. And indeed, they really do make a huge difference. And it's not about imagining that you're going to come up with all of this inspiration for 20 minutes. It's the opposite. It's what you address, Steve, which is that if you can dump all of your thoughts that you're holding on to in your brain, you create space. So really, most of morning pages is just a dump, literally a brain dump. You're just getting rid of everything, every distraction, every anger, every thought, every emotion, et cetera. So it would be cool if we all did that. But in its place, what I'm going to ask you to do is try the following exercise. Do this kind of just stream of consciousness. Get it out on a piece. Get it out on a page, and I would suggest you write it by hand as opposed to type it, because we know that the brain does different things when it's actually physically writing pen to paper as opposed to typing it. At the end of your 3 minute, just get it out, and you know it's going to be quick, so you're going to just get the big stuff out as quickly as you can. You now do the following. You're going to ask 3 questions of this Adesha thing. You remember the Adesha thing? That's your inner guide, your first guide, the inner teacher. And what you do is you write your name. So I would write Rod, and then I would write colon, and I'd ask a specific question. In a way, the better the question, the better the answer. But anything that you feel like you need to know, or just even confirm that the process is working. You can write, What should I wear today? What should be my thought of the day? You're not limited. What do I need to get done today? What's the emotion or the thought I should carry with me? What's the one thing I must do before the day is done? So you can be super pragmatic, you can be very aspirational,